Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this live stream. I'm excited to be here with you today. Hold on one second. Let me just unlock the chat. All right. So, I am going to be sharing with you today how to sell high end clients and services without selling. Yes, you heard me right, without selling. So, this is about getting people to want to buy, to influence them to buy, to get them to ask to buy versus you having to sell. So when you're selling high end services, people are savvy, they're sophisticated, and so they really don't buy into the same kind of tactics and strategies that a lot of people are out there teaching. You shouldn't have to overcome a lot of objections with these types of buyers. And so I want to break down how to do this so that you can make selling high-end services and clients as easy as having coffee with a friend. How does that sound? Sales can be so much fun when you do what I'm going to walk you through today. It really takes any anxiety out of it. You don't have to feel icky or slimy or pushy. It really is about getting people to want to buy versus, really selling them. So let's get started. First of all, if you want more sales, I want you to type in the chat right now, more sales, so I can see who's on with me. I love to get to know people on a personal level. I'd love to see who's on, who's watching. And so just type that in the chat. And then if you don't know me, or I should say, actually, if you're going to watch the replay back, make sure that you put hashtag replay so I can connect with you as well. But that being said, if you don't know me, if you're coming across me for the first time, my name is Ann Carden. I'm a strategic business growth consultant and coach, and I work with coaches and consultants who want to scale into multiple 6 and 7 figures, but they want to do it with high end clients and programs. So I'm not talking about $2,000 and $5,000 programs. I'm talking about a lot bigger than that, much bigger. And I help them do it so they can really simplify their business and multiply their money and get out of the hustle and grind that a lot of people are out there teaching. But helping them with their sales process to close high end clients, to close high end programs is a big piece of what I do with my clients. So if this is something that you're interested in, you can certainly book a call with me at acarden.com. All right, let's get started. So, first, I am never about selling, I am about influencing and bringing the right people to me. So, before I talk about the 3 phases of sales, which is what I'm really going to break down, we have to talk about your marketing. Because if your marketing is not bringing you the right people, or it is not bringing you enough people, this is where I would start. So if I was going to work with you and you said, "Oh, I want more sales, I want more clients," the first thing I would look at what are you doing in your marketing, and is that bringing you the people that you want, and is it bringing you enough people? And if it's not, then we have to start there. Obviously, right? You can't sell if you don't have any leads, if you don't have any prospects coming to you. So the first thing we would look at is your marketing piece. But in the 3 phases of sales, you have to understand there's a before phase, there's a during phase, so during the conversation, and then there is an after phase. And so I want to break down each one of these phases because here's the thing about getting clients, making sales, selling your programs, it doesn't matter. You have to understand where the breakdown is if you're not getting what you want, because there's always a place where it could be stopping your results. And so I talked about the sales piece. Are you getting qualified buyers to you? Are you getting enough leads to you? If not, you have to start there. But let's say you are getting people to you, you are getting leads, and you're just not closing the sales. Okay. The first thing I would look at is your qualifying process. So, are you qualifying people? This is the before phase. Are you qualifying people before you get on a call with them? This is really important because you don't want to be getting on calls with people who aren't in the right place for you to help them, or maybe you don't even do what they need. That's an issue too, or they don't have any financial means or any type of financial resources to be able to hire you. And you cannot sell to people with no resources if you are trying to build a high end business. And so you've got to qualify people for these pieces so that you know when you get into a conversation with someone, it is an eager buyer. It's someone who has already checked you out. They know all about you. This is a qualified person. You've taken them through your qualifying steps, and they are really wanting to just see what it's like to work with you or talk to you about your services. When you have this type of a prospect and you're in a conversation with this type of a prospect, it is a very different conversation from trying to convince people or trying to really overcome a lot of objections, all of those things. So make sure first and foremost you have a qualification process in place. So one of the things I teach my clients, besides their marketing to pull the right people to them, I teach them how to put an application process or some sort of a qualification process in place so they're not burning up their time. The other thing a qualification process does is it eliminates salespeople coming to you trying to sell to you. So that's another reason why you want to do this. This is all about leveraging your time and making your time count. If you're not closing sales the way you want, then it is a sales problem, probably, if your marketing is working. And this is where we have to determine the breakdown. So maybe it's in your qualification process. You're not getting into conversations with serious buyers or people who are really ready for you. So start there. That's the before phase of sales. All right. Now, once you are in front of them and you're having that conversation with them, this is the during phase. So this is during the call. And the very first thing I want you to think about is you're not in a sales conversation. I know that sounds a bit crazy, but what I want you to think about is I want you to relax and I want you to completely detach from making a sale. Just completely detach from whether or not they buy, and think of your sales conversations as another qualifying step. And if you think of them this way, they will be so much simpler. You'll be able to show up. And from there, your sales conversations are all about really qualifying them to see if they're a fit to work with you. This is a very different mindset from getting in and, oh my gosh, I have to make this sale, or I need to close this sale, or I need to make this sale. You don't want it. You don't want to ever go into your conversations with that attitude. So when I show up in a sales conversation, I'm excited to get to talk to the other person. I'm excited to see if it's going to be a fit for us to work together. I'm excited to see how I can help them. Is this making sense? Type yes in the comments if this is making sense. So the conversations become easy. They literally become as easy as having coffee with a friend. You wouldn't be nervous about getting on a Zoom call or on a phone call and having coffee with a friend or meeting up with a friend to have coffee, would you? That's how your sales conversations should be. They should feel simple, they should feel smooth, and you're really just getting on a call to get to know the other person. Now they think they're getting on a call to vet you, and they are, right? But you are also vetting them. Am I going to want to work with this person? Do they have the energy that I feel like I can really help them or work with them? And so you want to look at these different pieces, and that's how you show up to a call. So it's all about just being authentic. And I want you to think about this. You are there to diagnose. So if they filled out the qualification application or they went through your qualifying process, the first thing I want you to think about is that qualifying process should really prepare them for the call. I've had people say, Anne, your qualification process, like it really made me think. And it really, because sometimes people know they need help, but they're a little bit abstract in where they feel like that help needs to come from. And so when they go through my application process, it makes them think about what they really want. The other thing it does is it prepares me. So I get to show up to the call already knowing what they need, already knowing what they want. And then we just get to dig a little bit deeper into that. And it's so much easier that way. So when I know what we're going to be talking about on the call, then from there, I am doing basically a deeper diagnosis. So I want to find out more about, why this is going on or what's happening. And I want you to think about your sales conversations very much like a doctor. If you were going into the doctor, okay, and you told them you had a cold and you were running a fever, they would say, "Well, how long have you been running this fever? And how long have you had this cold? Like, when did this start?" Right? And so they're asking you a lot of questions. And then they would ask more questions. They wouldn't just immediately say, "Oh, you have a cold? Well, let's just schedule you for surgery," right? And this is how a lot of people make their sales conversations. It's like they're ready to start showing how they can help, but they haven't really diagnosed the problem to the level that they need to diagnose the problem. So the first thing is detach from the outcome, go into the conversation and think of it as another way to qualify them and just get to know the person and see if you're going to want to work with them and if you can help them. And then you want to diagnose. You want to really dive deeper into the things that they said they needed. All right. So much simpler this way. So much simpler. Hi, if you are joining me, thanks for being on with me. I'm talking about how to close high end sales without selling. And we talked about the before phase, and now we are in the during phase. So when you're in a conversation, it really becomes all about them. It's nothing about you. It's not about how you can help. It's not about anything that you do until there is a point in the conversation where that changes. And so for most of the conversation, 80 to 90%, you are not talking except to ask questions. And you are just taking it in. You're trying to find out what their needs are. And this is a very different conversation, wouldn't you say? And hey, people love to talk about themselves. So let them talk. Okay. So you're really qualifying them at that point, finding out what they need. And so this is really important. Also, if you are doing proposals, I want to hit on proposals a little bit because I work with both coaches and consultants, and a lot of times business coaches are doing proposals. Professional coaches, maybe if they're working in corporations, they're doing proposals. Consultants are doing proposals. And so I do want to hit on the proposal aspect just a little bit. And that is, ask all the questions that you need to know before you ever write a proposal. Do not write a proposal for people unless you know that they are ready to work with you and they just want to know their options. That's it. They have the budget. You've already qualified them with the financial piece. They have the budget for you. You can give a range. There's all kinds of ways. I actually have some YouTube videos around proposals. If you want those, drop proposals in the comments and I'll be happy to share those links with you where I dive deeper into proposals. But one of the mistakes people make is they let people say, "Send me a proposal." Okay, first of all, that is we're not interested. Just so you know, that's a we're not interested. What you want to do is really make sure that once again you have a qualified buyer, and you can say something as simple as, like, after you uncover everything and after you talk about everything, you can say, "So let me understand, so if I go ahead and write a proposal, you're ready to make a decision. We just need to talk about which option is going to be best for you." And they say yes. That's when you do a proposal. So I wanted to bring that up because a lot of people waste a lot of time emailing and sending proposals, and don't ever email a proposal. That's the other piece. But I'm not going to go into that a lot. That could be a whole nother live training, but I did want to hit on it. Okay, so once you diagnose and once you determine, okay, this is a fit for us to work together, then you want to be able to basically say, "Yes, I can help you with that. I absolutely can. Would you like to know what that looks like?" Or you can just use what we call silence. "Yes, I can help you with that." And then you're silent and they go, "Okay, what does that look like? Can you tell me what it would look like to work with you?" I am all about letting people ask versus trying to sell. I want to basically just ask the right questions in that conversation, uncover the things that they need, and then get them to ask to want to buy from me. So different, so different. And again, if they say yes or no, it's not a big deal to me, right? It's all around me being able to articulate the value to them and let them know that I can actually help them. And then it's their decision. Okay. I'm not going to sit there and push them into a sale. So this is the during phase. When you do this, thank you, Sean. When you do this in your sales conversations, so easy, so easy. And I always look at it this way. if they don't buy, they're going to leave feeling really good about that conversation. And I just made a new friend. And that's the way I want to show up for my sales conversations. I have to tell you, for so many years, I was taught the pushy, slimy, overcome objections kind of, tactics, and they just don't work. And they don't work for high end buyers. They don't. High end buyers are not going to be pushed into anything. And so you don't want to show up this way. That's not how you want to build your brand. It's not what you want to be known for. And by the way, I want to hit on one more point that I didn't cover at the very beginning. Do not outsource your sales for coaching and consulting for high end buyers. Unless you have a cookie cutter rinse and repeat system that they know they're coming to buy into a membership or membership site or something like that, don't outsource your sales. You will miss so much opportunity. And here's the other thing. I have lots of ways people can buy from me. And so if I'm on a call with them or in a conversation with them, and there are lots of ways they could actually come in and work with me, then I want to be able to show them those options. And no salesperson is going to really be able to do that for you. And so you want to make sure you're not outsourcing consulting and coaching sales. Get really good at the closing of sales in your business, and make sure your marketing is really dialed in. Again, I work with both of these things because they are so closely intertwined and related. You can't have great sales conversations if your marketing is junk and you're not bringing in the right people, right? You can't sell ice to an Eskimo, so to speak. And so you want your sales conversations to be very, very simple. And on the other hand, you've got to have the right process in place to keep them simple and influence buyers. And that's really what we're talking about here. You want to influence people to buy. You want them to ask you. You want them to feel really good about that whole conversation. All right. So we went through the before, we went through the after. Is this making sense? And by the way, if you're struggling with your marketing and sales and you're struggling with scaling your coaching or consulting business, or you feel like you have a breakdown somewhere and you need some help there, well, this is what I do. You can book a call with me at acarden.com, and I literally can analyze everything you're doing, and we can create a new strategy for you that can work. And often, if you already are doing things, I mean, the results can often be very, very fast and quick because we don't have to start from square one, or we don't have to start from scratch. So, okay. Once you have done all of this, you have the after phase. All right. And the after is, okay, what happens when you get off of that call with them? Give me 1 second. I'm going to take a quick drink. You get off of that call with them, what's next? So if you are going to give them a proposal, first of all, before you get off of that call with them, you want to set your next session with them to go over the proposal. I can't tell you how important this is. Don't email a proposal ever. Set that next call with them and make it 2 or 3 days out, nothing longer. And then you set that call with them to get back on to discuss the options on the proposal. Because remember, they've already said yes, right? Now, if they do not actually buy, then you can put them into your ecosystem. You can nurture them in your database. You can get them to follow you on social media. If you have a group of some sort, you can invite them into a group. If you have a workshop or an event coming up, you can invite that person into that. Maybe they just need to go a little bit deeper with you. And so all of those, there's always a call to action if you don't close the sale, so that you keep them in your ecosystem. And a lot of people miss this piece. So get them on your email list or get them in your database, whatever you need to do, but stay in touch with them. Stay top of mind with them. Start building that relationship and really going deeper into that relationship, because even if they didn't buy right now, that doesn't mean they won't buy in the future. But if you let all of those go, then you're missing out. Also, when you get back on a call with them and you've got a proposal, I recommend, if you are doing proposals, you give people 3 options. You should have a really, really high-end premium option that's everything in the kitchen sink that they need and that you can provide. Okay, really, really high. Then you've got your middle tier option, where this is a step down, obviously, from everything in the kitchen sink that you can provide for them. Now, again, you don't sell people things they don't need. And then you've got the middle option, and then you've got your low tier option. So, at the very minimum, and if you've qualified them financially, at the very minimum, they could choose the low. But here's the thing, when you go in with different options, a lot of times people will choose the middle option. And so, if you only go in with a one way or the highway option, you're not going to have the opportunity to close that sale the way you could. And so having multiple options, but you want to get on the call with them and you go through those options. Now, I do this right on my call. I ask people, I say, how would you like to work with a coach or a consultant? Would you like to work privately, or do you like a mastermind group? Only if my mastermind is a fit for them. If it's not, I wouldn't obviously offer that. But I say, do you prefer private, or do you prefer a group type of format where you're with other high level people and you're surrounded by other high level people, but we're doing the same thing? Which way works best for you? And then when they tell me, well, I think I like to work with you privately, well, then I can talk about the options that I have around that. But if you don't give people any options, and for a long time when I first started in this industry, I wasn't taught really how to do that in the right way. And so, I left a lot of money on the table. There were lots of times I could have helped people, and I didn't have these pieces dialed in. And so, this is why I'm super passionate about helping people get all of this. You shouldn't be wanting for clients. You should be able to take your business to whatever levels you want. You shouldn't be hurting for sales. This is just a business problem that can be fixed, especially if you're good at what you do. All right. So in the after phase, the follow up, you want to stay top of mind with them if they don't buy. And then if you are getting back into a conversation with them, you want to, if you've done a good job in the during phase where you said, okay, so if I write that proposal, what I would like to do is get back on a call with you. We'll walk through the options. So if I go ahead and do that proposal, you're ready to make a decision when we get back on the call, and you're ready to choose which would work best for you. Is that what I'm hearing? Is that right? So you want to collect those yeses on that call before you ever do the proposal and get them back on the call. Does this make sense? The other thing is, over and over again, people say, okay, Anne, what does it look like to work with you? And that's the conversation that I want. So then if they, whatever reason, don't buy, then I want to stay in touch with them. I want to keep building that relationship with them. I don't want to let all of that go to waste. I've done a lot of work to get them into my ecosystem and even get them on a call with me, right? With all of my marketing and my influence. And so if they're on a call with me and they don't buy, then I don't want to just let that lead go. And so this is just a really important thing. So you need three pieces dialed in. And so if you're not getting sales to close, where is the breakdown? Okay. Is it in your marketing? That's the before. That's part of the before. Is it in your qualifying process? Is it in your actual conversation with people? Or is it in the after phase, in the follow up, in closing that proposal, whatever that is? And I want you to know that when you sell people what they ask for, you'll close more sales. So often people are trying to sell their stuff, and they're trying to sell sort of their agenda. And that isn't how people buy, and especially not how high end buyers buy. You need to sell people what they want and need in integrity if you truly can help them. And when you do this, you'll close proposals, you'll shorten the sales cycle. Even if you're working in corporate space, if you just ask the questions, what are you looking for? What do you need? And you create a proposal that has those things in it, and you can articulate that value, and you can articulate exactly what they said they wanted, and that's put in a proposal or even put into a conversation. Why would they not buy? I say this to my clients all the time. If you're coming in on their budget and you're giving them what they want, and they're on a call with you or they're talking to you, they're already interested in you. Why would they not buy? Does this make sense? All right. So somebody said, how do we get the proposal to them if you don't email it to them? Oh, yes. So you get them back on a call and you go through that proposal with them, just like another sales call. And you walk through the options. You've got the different options. And from there, they can choose which option's best for them. Super simple, and you close the deal. People make sales so hard and they make their cycles so long. I mean, I see this in so many businesses and corporations and all of that. I'm not ever going to push people. For a long time, I would say people like they'll never come back, but I actually haven't found that to be true. When you actually have the right sales process and the right marketing in place, actually they will come back, and they'll come back to you. And so if you're not getting clients the way you want, or you're not making the sales the way you want, book a call with me. Let's see what you're doing and let's see how we can fix it. Because there's no reason, if you're great at what you do and people are actually getting into calls with you, or you're getting those leads, there is no reason why you shouldn't be closing those sales. It is a sales problem. It's a business problem that can be fixed. So you can book a call at acarden.com. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, if you want the proposal YouTube video that I created, it's probably been a year ago since I did it, but I can still go find that link and I can drop it and give that to you. And I really walk through the proposal process, questions, all of those kinds of things. And so you can check that out as well. But look, sales and marketing are something that we all have to do. But the thing that sets people apart from that are crushing it in their business to people not getting the results that they want is literally in what they're doing. That's it. So book a call if you are interested in getting some help, whether that's with your marketing, your sales. The other thing is make sure that your offers are clear and you can articulate those with the buyer. This is all, again, part of the sales process. If they don't understand what they're buying or they don't see the value, they're not going to close either. So that's all part of the sales process. I could talk about this topic for a very long time. There's so many little details and moving pieces, but I hope that this opened up your mindset to really help you be able to close more sales and influence people to buy. So I'm Ann Carden. Again, if you need some help scaling to multiple 6 and 7 figures in your coaching or consulting business, then book a call with me at acarden.com. And if we're not connected, connect with me and leave any comments or any questions that you have. I am so happy to go back and answer your questions. And I always check the feed when I do these live streams. And then I will answer your question or reach out to you and see how you need some help. So, all right. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you all next week. I'm going live once a week. So I'll see you all next week. And by the way, if there's something you want me to talk about on my lives to help you have a more lucrative and impactful coaching and consulting business with your expertise, then drop those comments in as well and give me some feedback on what you would like me to get on here and talk about. You all have an amazing day. Have a great week. God bless you. Bye-bye.